What's up guys, Roddy here, and today we're going to talk about this guy, the brand new, yes, I got it, S24 Ultra. So let's go. Hey guys, in true form and fashion, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button below. If you've hit that button, you are awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we're gonna jump right into the review, my take on this big, bad Samsung. The brand new Galaxy S24 Ultra in all its glories. We're gonna talk everything about it, talk about whether or not I recommend it, if you should upgrade, if you should pick it up. So let's jump right in and let's talk about first things first, the design. So not a lot's changed here. So we're going to talk about the few things that are different from last year's S23 model. I'm not going to get into specs. I'm not a specs person. Plenty of videos out there that'll tell you all the specs. We're going to talk about the things that have changed. And the first thing, the thing that I really like so much that they did change this year is this outer ring, this outer rim, this outer edge is now titanium. That's right. So you've got titanium out on the outside here, all the metal that's on the outside, no longer their power aluminum or whatever they called it. It is now titanium, just like the iPhone, and it feels great. I would go as far as to say this actually feels better than the iPhone's outer edge. It just feels really good. It's really matte. They didn't try to gloss it up. I love the texture. I love the feel of it. I love the way this feels in the hand. It's really nice. It's going back to that industrial design that we had several years ago. So I'm here for it. And then this back side of the Samsung, this even feels better than the S23 Ultra. It feels even more dense. It's got a little more of that kind of higher frosted glass feel here. It's just really nice. Again, they are really coming after Apple when it comes to having a premium design. And for the first time ever, I'm going to go out and say that this is the most premium feeling phone that you can get on the market, period. I have always kind of given that to iPhone. I've always felt like their products felt just a little bit better than everything else. Just the feel, the fit, the finish, the feel in the hand. I think Samsung has stepped it up this year. This outer rail feels better than my 15 Pro Max. This back glass feels almost identical to it. Just the density of it. It just has that real high quality, dense feel. It doesn't feel cheap. Nothing looks cheap here. Nothing looks like it's, glossy or not quite as premium. This feels really good. The only other thing they've changed about design this year is they've given you a flatter or a completely flat screen. You don't have a screen that rolls over the edge. Last year it barely did. You couldn't even really tell it, and really it was just where the bezel kind of started. They barely rolled that over the edge. Not this year. It's completely flat, symmetrical bezels. Everything else is pretty much identical when it comes to design. So small incremental upgrades, but I will say this feels more premium than the S23 Ultra. And to me, in my opinion, all the flagships I've looked at and touched and felt and held in the hand this year, this one feels the most premium of any device by a good margin. I know that iPhone is titanium, and most people are like, how can you tell the difference? It really boils down to this matte finish, how it looks, how it feels. And then just how well they've done the glass. But it's, again, it really boils down to, you got to put this in your hand and you kind of can feel the density of it. That's not a weight thing. That's just a higher end quality material that doesn't feel flimsy, that doesn't feel hollow, that doesn't feel, it feels like a good solid device. Weight's good, all that stuff is really good. So next we're going to jump right into performance, and the first thing I want to talk about is the screen performance. So for me, this screen has really kind of solidified what I've always said about Samsung, is that they make some of the best panels on the market, period. But again, this does feel like an upgrade over the S23 Ultra. Not that that was bad. I always say that Samsung has some of the best panels, my favorite panels when it comes to screens. But this one, there's something about how crisp and sharp and the pixel density and all that, everything looks like a sticker. Like nothing here looks like a screen. It feels like a sticker. The biggest one, and I don't know if I can even get this to show up on camera or not, but is the keyboard. This keyboard, just around the edges of the keyboard, usually you can kind of, if you look real close, you get real close on it, or if you get a larger keyboard, like I make mine almost half the screen, usually you could see the pixelation just barely around those edges. This year, it's so crisp and so sharp and so clean, and I love that so much that they really pushed that envelope to make this screen technology even better. So again, you're talking about premium devices. You've got the hardware on the outside. You've got this great screen that comes with it. It's just really, really impressive that Samsung gives you just small incremental upgrades, but where they give it to you has really refined this phone. And again, to me, when you combine the outside of the way this phone looks and feels, and then you talk about this screen, how good it is, probably one of the best, highest quality devices that you can find on the market over everything else. Outside of that, there's really nothing else that's really changed. Yeah, we've got Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 here. I can't tell a difference between the speeds of this and the S23 Ultra. I can't tell a difference between this and my OnePlus 12. I can't tell a big difference between this and just the regular S24s. This 8 Gen 2, 8 Gen 3 chips, they are reaching kind of a plateau where they may be better, but I can't tell a huge difference in speed here. And I think Samsung's gonna have to up the ante next year on the S25 and give us 16 gigabytes of RAM, some faster storage, processing and stuff like that for us to really take advantage of what this chipset can do and for it to feel different. Outside of all of that, battery life feels about the same. Connectivity feels about the same. Bluetooth connectivity feels about the same. I don't feel like that there's any change in anything, whether I'm swiping among screens. I mean, I've got everything turned on to its maximum, you know. Yeah, I definitely can tell a difference in the brightness, but again, that goes back to the screen, not really in kind of any other performance. So I would say here, battery life about the same as the S23 Ultra. Screen brightness is better. The screen is going to give you, it's going to be a better experience. But as far as battery life, speed, connectivity, thermals, all that kind of stuff, nothing here is new. Nothing here is changed. Nothing here is just a huge leap forward. And I would go as far as to say, if you've got an S23 Ultra and you're looking for a huge upgrade here, or you're looking for, you know, 50-60% better than that phone, you're not going to find it. The only reason I would think you'd move from the S23 Ultra over to this is because you want this naked phone feel that feels a lot better, and you're not happy with the screen. You want a brighter screen or a more crisp screen. This is going to give you that. Outside of that, I mean, your S Pen is still pretty much the same. There's nothing that's changed here. Those are all the same. Fit and finish is still the same there. You just really aren't getting tons and tons of upgrades. Some of the complaints I had about S23 are still here. I don't like cameras being shoved into a corner. That's just not cool when it comes to design. These corners, while I hold this phone kind of like this, where it's not really, it's kind of just mainly resting in the hand. But if you're kind of pushing that into your palm right there, these corners are going to be sharp. No matter what you do, they're still sharp. No matter, they've got to cut that back or something. I don't know what they've got to do, but everything feels about the same. Speaker quality doesn't feel any louder, doesn't sound any crisper or clearer. Still pretty solid, still really good. Probably one of the better ones out there when it comes to clarity. So yeah, I mean, everything here, even like the stuff that they've done to One UI, it just doesn't feel like a big difference from face unlock to the menus to apps to customization, all that kind of stuff. Even the AI features, I haven't even really used them. They're not to me, they're still kind of niche in what you can and can't do with them. They work fine, they work good. I haven't had any lags or anything like that, but it just still feels like a typical good, solid Samsung experience. And that continues onto the cameras, unfortunately. A lot of the same kind of gripes and complaints I've had about Samsung cameras, they're still here. They're a little better, but I still have times where this camera is inconsistent. Color accuracy is inconsistent. Skin tones are inconsistent. How it handles bright situations and lighting is inconsistent. Can I get good pictures and videos out of it? Absolutely. Gonna do some comparisons and post some stuff up, and it does. It takes good pictures, no problem. But if you want the best pictures, if you want iPhone Pixel S, and I would even say now OnePlus after using that device, I know I harp on it, but it does a super good job. If you're wanting those top tier, top level, really great, outstanding pictures, you have to really work with this. It's not just gonna come out of the box, you open it up, you turn, you take a picture, and it's perfect. I don't like the post-processing that Samsung gives you. I kind of wish they'd get away from that. I downloaded in their app store the Expert RAW, and I shoot Expert RAW a lot because I like the more flatter image that these cameras kind of give you, and I wish Samsung would just rely on that as well. If we want it processed and we want it changed, let us do it. Otherwise, just give us a good solid upfront picture. You've got the hardware to do it. Samsung has great cameras in here. It's just that processing is not super duper great. Not saying these are bad cameras. They are fantastic cameras. You can't beat the zoom, you can't beat the sharpness, you can't beat the quality of portraits that you're gonna get out of this. It's just some of the processing is a little wonky, and I have to tend to take a picture and then turn around and play with it a little bit. And most of it, I'm taking stuff off because I just don't like the processing. So it's a preference thing, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of other phones out there that do a little bit better job than what Samsung's doing. The biggest complaint I would say is probably color accuracy and skin tones. I still think it's a little too saturated. I think it's a little too poppy. It's a little too high contrast. And then the lighting. Sometimes it's just prioritizing light. So your picture might be a little bright, or it's too much exposure, or the highlights are too much. That sort of thing. So nothing bad, nothing terrible. You'll take the pictures and think they look good. You're only going to notice it if you've got other phones and cameras around you. But overall, this is a solid device. I would recommend this to anyone that's got an older Samsung S22 or older, maybe a lower level Samsung, like just a regular S23 or S23 Plus. I would say that this is also probably really nice if you have been using a Pixel, you want something a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit better processing, a little bit better battery life. This is going to fit the bill if you can't wait on the new Pixel 9 that's coming out. I would say that if you're looking for a smaller device, you may want to go elsewhere because this thing is large. Even with the titanium taking away some of the weight, it's still pretty heavy as well. This phone is for a power user. This phone is for someone that is more business than pleasure with their device. This is somebody that's like, I want good pictures, but I don't have to have the best pictures out there. I just want something that's going to take a good solid photo. I like the zoom, I like the versatility, but I really need this for a work device, and that's what I picked it up for. This is my office phone, this is our work device, this is the device that we use in my office, around town, that sort of thing. I've got it, so if I need to make somebody sign a contract or I'm signing a PDF or whatever, I'm picking this device up and using it. It's great for pictures and videos and connecting to apps and connecting to computers and doing decks and all those other things that are great for business. So it's a great phone for that, and that's what I got it for. So lucky me, I am so blessed to be able to pick up this device. I got a great deal on it. I had a trade-in, a broken S22 Ultra. They gave me $1,000 for it. I literally paid about $300 for this phone after all was said and done. You can't beat Samsung's trade-in deals. I got another video coming about the S9. at Tab S9 Ultra, how I got it so cheap with a trade-in. Samsung is doing a fantastic job. They can really suck you into their ecosystem because you get a trade-in and it's cheap, and then they give you $100 off their highest end watch, or they give you a free set of earbuds, and it's fantastic. So you can also look at that too if you're looking for a cheaper way to get into a higher end, more high-end flagship phone. If you've got something laying around, Samsung's probably going to give you a really good trade-in deal on it. There's some carrier deals if you don't mind being locked into a carrier. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in, for checking it out. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the brand new S24 Ultra? Phone of the year? Is it got some competition? Does it not feel as good as the last year? Just let me know what all you think in those comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we will see you next time.